Hello there, it's Mr. Rops.
And Mrs. Flynn.
We're going to do a quick podcast on solving absolute value equations. But before we do that, let's talk about what absolute value means. So if I take my equation, or if I have a scenario where I have the absolute value of y equals 4, this inside here,
that means the distance
away from 0 is 4. Well, here's 0 down here. If I'm 4 away from 0, well,
your answer could be 4, because that's 4 units.
Right.
Or your answer could be -4.
Right.
Because both -4 and 4 are 4 units away from 0.
Or -4. And so it always means plus or minus are our options. Let's do an example where we see that. So if I'm going to solve this equation here, I know that 3n plus 4 is 19 units away from 0. Or I know that from 0 is equal to -19.
Because -19 is 19 units away from 0.
Right. And we solve each equation individually. So I subtract my 4, and I get 15.
That's easy, and it's just 5.
Or 3n, subtract 4 again, and I get -23. Divide by 3, and I get -23 over 3.
And we can leave it like that, or switch it, doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm just going to leave it like that, since I'm already there, and n equals 5. So now as you do this, you make sure you're not a passive listener. Make sure you're copying this example down and following it through. Try this one. Before we even do this one, you might want to try it yourself. Pause it here, try it yourself, and compare your answer to what we come up with. Now that you're back, to solve this scenario, what do? We have to get the absolute value all by itself. So in order to do that, I have to first take this 7 and add it over to this side. So I add 7 to both sides, and I get
27.
27. Ooh. 27 equals, thank you. Now, to get the absolute value sign by itself, what do I have to do to get rid of the 3?
So inverse operation is divide by 3.
Sweet. So divide by 3.
Now we're just left with our absolute value of 5x minus 1 equals 9. And just like the previous problem, either 5x minus 1 equals 9 because it's 9 units away from 0, or 5x minus 1 can equal -9. Again, -9 is 9 units away from 0.
Okay, and then we solve each equation separately. Here I add 1 to both sides, so 5x equals 10. Divide by 5, and x is 2.
Or we can add 1 to both sides and get 5x equals -8. Divide by 5, and x is -8/5. So x can be 2, or x can be -8/5.
Nice. And so that's quite a common scenario, that when you have absolute value, there are 2 answers, and they're both correct. Make sure you bring these notes to class, both these equations solved out, so we can check them, and we'll sign off for now.